All right. I wouldn't really say these are advanced tips. I would just say these things to know. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing. No. Oh, she just left. Okay, cool. All right. So, anybody know what an A/B test is? Okay, a couple people. A/B test is a split test, right? You can do this in a lot of different things. You can actually do this and go high level as well. So, when it comes down to a split test, you can essentially split the traffic across different objectives. What I mean by that, I'll talk about that in terms of ads and I'll talk about that in terms of funnel, right? When it comes down to ads, say for example, you're just not too sure, I don't know if baby shower and wedding who's gonna perform better. Well, anyway, you're doing that split test by having multiple ad sets anyway, but you can do that within the actual ad set itself. So say for example, you have a really, really tight budget, which don't run ads if you have a really, really tight budget, right? That's just not a good financial decision, right? But really, really tight budget, you can say, okay, cool, look, listen, I'm just not too sure about which ad set is gonna work, wedding versus kids party. Can you do an A/B test versus that? You can also do A/B tests at the campaign level, right? It's just something to know, you don't have to really worry about that right now, right? This is more so for your media buyer to know, but I want you guys to understand it as well. You can pause ads over a certain cost per acquisition, right? So say for example, I'm looking at the campaign, I'm just like, okay, wedding ad set is getting me $50 cost per acquisition, while baby shower is getting me $30 cost per acquisition. Well, at that point, which one are you gonna keep? Baby shower, right? More traffic converts 2 to 5 times better. Retarget, we spoke about retargeting ad nauseum. Cool. Scaling strategies, this is super important, right? Well, again, everything's super important, right? So with that being said, when it comes down to increasing the budget, you should always be looking to increase the budget, right? And I get it, there's that mental barrier where it's just like, I don't wanna spend more on ads. But ideally, if things are working, you wanna increase the budget until something breaks, AKA the constraint. You see how everything kind of ties in together with business, right? So it's like, for me, if I have a really, really good cost per acquisition at $100 a day, bump up to 150, bump up to 200, bump up to 300, right? Every 48 to 72 hours, you could increase the budget by 20, 30%. Me, I'm a crackhead. I do it every single day. So with that being said, right, you wanna go ahead and increase it until something breaks. Okay, cool. My show rate is dipping. Let me fix that, increase the budget. That's how businesses scale. Going back to Ann's question, why do some people get here versus in a year versus other people it takes 5 years? They focus on the right things, right? If you have that mental barrier, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna go ahead and scale ads. Well, how do you expect people to find out about you? You getting government contracts or something? I don't know, right? So, which I would not hold my breath on those, right? So with that, definitely increase the budget, 20, 30%. Always look to increase the budget, right? Because we wanna see what breaks at that point, right? Don't gotta really worry about that right now. We're not gonna talk about that. Horizontal scaling, right? Horizontal scaling and vertical scaling, right? So there's a couple of different ways to scale. You guys don't really have to commit this to memory. It's more so for the media buyer. But again, if he talked to you in a certain language, I want you guys to understand it, right? There's horizontal scaling and vertical scaling, right? So horizontal scaling is essentially kind of going back to our little diagram over here. Horizontal scaling is, okay, cool, creative one and ad set one's working really well. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing over and over and over again. I'm gonna scale that way. So this one is $50 a day, this one's $50 a day, this one's $50 a day, this one's $50 a day. Now I just raised the budget up to $200, right? Or vertical scaling, pretty self-explanatory, right? I can just go ahead and bring this one up to $200 a day. No particular one is right, no particular one is wrong. It's just what breaks first, right? So you want to test and test and test, right? There's certain media buyers, like their style is they do horizontal scaling. There's certain media buyers that their scale is vertical scaling, right? So there's no right or wrong way. It's just you want to understand how that works, right? Going back to optimization, how do we optimize this, right? Again, this is very important for you to understand, right? Oh, it's 1:30. Very important for you to understand. So we want to, those creatives, now it's just like, okay, cool, I understand that. I'll go back over here, all right? See, keeping y'all on the swivel, you feel me? Keeping y'all on the swivel, right? So I also just have a lot of caffeine right now. So with this being said, like, okay, cool. If I understand, going back to that hook or that angle, that live event in this ad set is working really well, I'm gonna spam this. I'm gonna do a lot more of these, right? I'm gonna give my media buyer a lot more of these, right? If I see that my event setups are really, really working well, number one, I'm gonna post more of these on IG, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm run it more as ads, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just, it's essentially like do more of what works, less of what doesn't. That's the biggest thing when you're growing your business, right? So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Industry specific approaches. Let's go. Service, business, coaches, and different products, event promoter. No, we don't really gotta work about that. Templates, tools, and resources. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this for a second, right? Who knows what copy is? C-O-P-Y. Cool. So copy is essentially like, you know when you see the ad, all the writing in the description? That's copy, right? Or what the person is saying in the ad, that's copy, right? Remember when we were talking about the retargeting over here? What changed versus cold, warm, or hot? The copy, exactly, right? So when you're going through the copy, you want to understand, okay, and again, like if you have a really good media buyer or if you have a copywriter, which nobody should have a copywriter at this stage, right? You good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounded a little hardy. Like, I was like, right? So you want to understand the copy, and again, the copy changes versus what part of the funnel they're in, right? So kind of coming back over to here, what are some copywriting examples, right? And again, this is good to understand. Like, say for example, like, because Tommy had asked this question, like, hey, look, listen, if I want to make a retargeting ad, like, yeah, you can go in to have Balazs do it. You can also just do it yourself. I would go into ChatGPT. Hey, look, listen, like I have a copywriting template. I have an event-based business in Atlanta, Georgia. This is a template, hook, problem, solution, call to action. Can you give me 3 to 5 examples of how you would go ahead and set up an ad for dynamic targeting, right? So I would, and I literally, I don't think I've like since I upgraded my ChatGPT, I don't think I've even like hired anybody else, but because like ChatGPT can literally solve like your life's problems, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I have the pro version. Like I'm not playing around with my ChatGPT, right? So I'd probably pay that before I pay my rent. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 1,000. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta, you feel me, right? We gonna figure it out. Right? So hook, problem, solution, call to action. So just to kind of give you an example of what that looks like, and I want to break down all these different things, right? I probably would not go with this one, but I'll talk about it in a second, right? We'll talk about why. So copywriting template, hook. Are you looking to start, are you looking to have an event in Atlanta, Georgia? That's not a very good hook, but let's just run with it for a second, right? Are you looking to have a great event in Atlanta, Georgia, right? Or are you tired of having bad events in Atlanta, Georgia, right? Problem, right? Well, look no further. Solution, we have an event space in Atlanta, Georgia. Book our tour. I'm doing it super simplified, but you just kind of see the way, you know, like I would put this into ChatGPT and literally say like, hey, spit this out for me, right? But that's essentially what the template would be. Hook, problem, solution, call to action. That's just one example, right? This one's really powerful. Storytelling. Now, for this particular business with an event space, I would probably go with this one, but that's a great thing. You can split test all of them. Right? Like, cause we don't know, you never want to make assumptions when it comes to marketing. You never want to make assumptions. Test, right? Storytelling framework. I remember when I booked an event for my wedding and it sucked. There were roaches, there were this, there were that. But so that's why I started my own event space. Welcome to ABC Event Space. If you want to have your own event, book a tour today, right? Struggle, breakthrough, result. Offer stack, wouldn't really use that, but I'll just tell you how it kind of goes. Hey, if you're looking to book, and because a lot of people do this anyway, but whatever, right?
Interrupt the video, but I just wanted to take this time to remind you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps push the video forward so we can get it out to more viewers like you that could really utilize this information. So if you could just take 2 seconds, there'll be a button right below, right next to my name that says subscribe. If you could just go ahead and do that, that's my only ask. That's the only thing I'm asking for. It just really helps the team. It just lets us know that the videos that we're going out are good quality and that they're really helping people. All right, so please do me a quick favor, hit subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Back to the video.
Offer stack. Hey, you're looking to book a venue, you'll get tables, chairs, and a birthday cake, all for just $1,000. I don't like that because one, I gave away the price. 2, you're commoditizing instead of providing value and selling. So that's just, I don't see that one going very far. I would not do that. Right? Cool. Is everybody clear on the copywriting templates? Beautiful. All right, cool. I'm not gonna really even talk about all that right now. Retargeting. Okay, let's talk about retargeting, right? Because very important. Very important, right? Talk about retargeting, what it is. In a simple definition, allows you to show the ads to people who interacted with your business but did not convert, right? Interacted with your business, as in they clicked the ad. If they just saw but didn't do anything, we can't retarget them because we don't know them technically, right? So retargeting people who've clicked but they didn't like book a tour, right? That goes back to our little funnel over there, right? Cool, you clicked, you interacted, but you didn't do. Why? ¿Por qué no? Right? Cool. Types of retargeting audiences, right? This kind of goes back to the different ad sets and whatnot. So obviously we got the people who visited the website, right? So now it's like, because I have my pixel, I can see people who clicked on my website. Okay, cool, I'm gonna show you some more. I'm gonna show you some more, right? If you had an e-commerce business, maybe people who added to cart or whatever the case may be, right? People who engaged with your content, right? So you watched 25% of my video. You watched 75% of my video, right? You can even get so granular that you have different copy for each one, because obviously somebody who watched 25% versus somebody who watched 95%, very, very different. You watched 95%, you didn't book a tour? Wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would come out like versus 25%. Hey, I saw that you clicked on my ad, but you didn't watch the whole video. Was there something wrong? I'd love to come and talk to you. Book a tour, book a call, whatever the case may be, right? You can have it where it's like people who opted in, but you should have a separate sequence for that anyway. People who opted in but didn't book a tour, but you should have a separate sequence for that or whatever. You could do people who went on your, even like you see what I'm saying? Like you get very, very granular with these things, right? Cool. Like I said before, you segment it based on what part of the funnel they're in. Top, middle, or bottom. Cold, warm, or hot, right? Urgency or scarcity. Hey, I saw that you clicked on our page, but you didn't book a tour. May dates are running out. Book a tour as soon as possible. I would do that and I would retarget that to some people, right? Because now it's like you've interacted. You might have even thought about booking a tour, but you didn't. I'm running out of dates. I wouldn't say that to a cold lead because they don't know who the hell I am. They don't even care, right? Cool. I might even do a testimonial, right? So I might even do an ad where it's just like, yo, what's going on? I'm with John and Mary. They just had a wedding. I know that you're thinking about booking 123 Event Space. Come and check us out. Book a tour right now, right? I might even shorten the window, but that goes back to urgency or scarcity, things of that nature, right? Retargeting ad ideas, right? So for example, let's talk about, customer story or success case. So kind of going back to what I just talked about, like I might do an ad with, I've done ads with clients actually. I've done ads with clients, right? Where it's just kind of like, yo, what's going on? This is my guy, Dante. He just booked a baby shower. If you have been thinking about running an event space, or thinking about running an event and come book BK Event Spaces, blah, 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 book a tour right now. Cool. Now it's like I have that proof, I have that authority, I have that credibility, and I'm retargeting towards people who have already interacted. Boom. You see what I'm saying? You might just do a simple, straightforward, direct call to action offer reminder. Hey, we got 3 days left. Book a tour, right? Any questions on that? Good? Cool? All right.
I do, I'm sorry.
Now you're fine.
Now, let me ask you, just so I'm understanding, these redirecting ads, because of the data that we've captured, it will specifically target these people who have, you know, if it's the warm people who have just maybe have looked at it but not the whole thing. Are you saying they will specifically, we can show it to specifically them, or are you just saying these are the type of posts that you will go out, the kind of ad that will go out?
First one.
Will hit? Okay.
First one.
Okay, so we can specifically tell and then target those specific
100%.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's why it's powerful.
Right.
That's why it's powerful. And once you nail that copy and you can address it, because think about it like this, right? If I go in and if, say for example, you see a post and just like, hey, look, listen, I'm talking to single women, right? This is how you go ahead and find a husband. Obviously, I'm not talking to you. You're married, right? But then if I say, hey, look, listen, I'm looking for a couple married couples who want to go on a retreat. Now, I have your ear, right? Because I'm talking specifically to you. So it's the same thing with the cold, warm, and hot, right? Somebody who's a brand who has never heard of me before, I can't come to them and be like, hey, look, listen, I saw that you interacted. Come, they're gonna be like, who the hell is this guy? Right? That's why retargeting is so powerful, because now I'm talking to you. Like I wouldn't talk to you guys the same way I talk to a new lead, right? I'd be like, come on, you've been in easy, you know what we do, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking a whole different language, right? But it's because there's more know, like, and trust there. Right? But yeah, you can 100% use retargeting because that's how it works. It goes after those specific people. Cool. All right, ad fatigue. I know. Yeah. We got plenty of water, bro. We got plenty of water, bro.
There's something she just asked about. If we wanted to do like ads for like discounts before the grand opening, how would we?
Ew.
Oh.
I said ew. You said why is that?
Because I guess we're losing money off each one.
I mean, do you want to be that bargain brand venue? You want to be the Walmart of event spaces?
Ideally not.
You don't. Yeah, what, you run an ad to... So here's like when I would do that, right? When I've made a lot of money already, and now I'm just cleaning up. And I do that specifically to retarget anyway. I wouldn't do that for new people because then these people are broke and then they're gonna bring more broke people. And I don't wanna do that.
I think it kind of pigeonholes you into that, to like.
That's what I'm saying. You don't wanna be the bargain brand venue.
Yeah.
Like,
So we should
So
never.
you offered it for $1,000 before.
Never said never. But I wouldn't run an ad and publicize that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. That should only be something told once they're actually in the venue, right?
Here's when I do flash sales, right? I do flash, so if I give something, I have to get something, right? This is the flash sale mantra, right? And like, of course, like this is assuming that all is well with the business. If you're strapped on cash, then that's a whole different thing, right? Like get your money, right? But in terms of it being like a business specific like marketing strategy, no, right? You can do it when it's just like, all right, you can do it when you have like limited amount of dates. Like I'll say like, okay, cool, like I'm packed out, I wanna make an extra 10 grand or whatever the case may be. Let me go ahead and market Friday specifically, right? Usually, like I said, I wanna give something so I get something. So like I might do a pay in full. Right? I might do, it's only these specific dates. Like I want to get rid of my Fridays, only these specific dates. You don't just open up the floodgates and stuff like that because then it's just like, you have all these dates that are being booked, you have all these people that are probably not the best to work with, and then now it's like you're being known as the bargain brand venue. And then it's just like, okay, cool, now it's like I just have all these people who just always want discounts and it's just never fun. That's just not the way to run a business, right? So I mean, like, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about when to do a flash sale, how to do a flash sale appropriately, right? So, that matcha hitting. You feel me? Bro, can't you give me like a real eraser? What?
The spray next to the rag.
No, yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's interesting.
I was looking at the spray.
That didn't even do that much. Now I'm out here working? God damn. Like, okay, finish. All right, so let's talk about, and like this is obviously like, I'm kind of thinking off the dome here, so like, don't quote me on the, all right, now it's wet. This is just not very efficient, like, you feel me? All right, cool. Let's see how this works. It'll probably kick in. All right, cool. All right, so let me kind of think for a second. Talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And we'll see what kind of my mind comes up with after this, right? So flash sales, right? Or actually, here we go. Cool. Again, this was not part of the curriculum, so if I miss something, don't quote me. This is just like, while we're on the topic, let's talk about it, right?
Interrupt the video, but I just wanted to take this time to remind you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps push the video forward so we can get it out to more viewers like you that could really utilize this information. So if you could just take 2 seconds, there'll be a button right below, right next to my name that says subscribe. If you could just go ahead and do that, that's my only ask. That's the only thing I'm asking for. It just really helps the team. It just lets us know that the videos that we're going out are good quality and that they're really helping people. All right, so please do me a quick favor, hit subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Back to the video.
Cool, flash sales. I love a good flash sale. Love a good flash sale. It makes a lot of money, but it's the things that comes with the flash sale afterward, right? Because then here's the thing, right? If we went ahead and said, hey, we are discounting ESC $5,000 for the next 5 people, guess what's gonna happen after I do that? People are gonna just wait for the next flash sale. And now you're in this perpetual cycle of just always doing flash sales, right? And it's just not fun, right? I love me a good flash sale, but again, there has to be contingencies with it. So we'll go ahead and talk about contingencies afterward, right? Like, it's gotta make sense. Did I make $30,000 in a day because of flash sale? Yes. Have I made $10,000 in a day because of flash sale? Yes. Have I made $20,000 in a day because of flash sale? Yes. But they all had contingencies, right? So it wasn't just like, okay, cool, he does this all the time. It's like, you better buck up or shut up. You feel me? So let's talk about this, right? Flash sale, liquidate dates, right? So say, for example, one of the things I love to do was I would look at my calendar and I would say, okay, cool, I have all the Fridays available in my calendar, right? Now, I wanna be very specific. These were dates that were like 30 days away. So the odds of going ahead and getting those taken care of were very little to none. Again, contingencies, right? So it's like, right now it is, we're actually looking at building this into Venue 360 actually. But say for example, right now, what month are we in, September? Cool, right? So say for example, I look at October and be like, damn, okay, I have 3 Fridays left, right? So I would make a post that says, hey, I have these 3 Fridays specifically, whoever books them will get this discount, will get this price. But here's the thing, right? There's a couple different ways to do a flash sale, right? And I don't like to lose money. Well, yeah, I don't like to lose money. Have I lost money? Yeah, but who doesn't, right? So with that being said, right, there's a couple different ways to discount, right? You can either drop price or you can raise value. I like to do this. I like to raise value, right? So instead of me going from 3,000 down to 2,500, I would rather do $3,000 but give you $3,500 worth of value, right? But a lot of people don't think that. They think that, oh my God, I have to drop my price in order to go ahead and do that. No, I actually never drop like the only times I ever drop my price is when like literally like I was just trying to liquidate, right? And I just like, I did not care. Like we were up, we were good. Or I remember, okay, no. I remember this one time we dropped our price significantly because that was my first month that we were this close to hitting $100,000 in revenue in a month. And I was just like, guys, we gotta hit, like we were at like 86,000. I was like, guys, we gotta hit 100,000. I'm making the craziest sale ever. And it was like $2,000. And I was just like, 100 people booked it, we got 100,000. I think we did like $108,000 that month. That was like the first month I ever did $100,000 in a month with venues. And I was like, ooh, cool. All right, so like I said, when it comes down to discount, I would rather you guys raise your value. Don't drop your price. Because here's the thing, right? Like you get a better sense of quality. You get a better client, and you don't lose any money. You don't lose any money. I still get that $3,000. And guess what? Especially when it's all inventory, you don't lose anything either. That couch was sitting in your closet. You see what I'm saying? And we'll talk about some other things that if I remember, we'll talk about some other things and like in terms of like what you could kind of do, right? So liquidate dates, right? I got 3 Fridays in October, the 21st, the 29th, and the 18th, or whatever the case may be, right? We're doing this discount, or we're doing this package, right? That's another thing I would do. I would do like specific date packages or certain holiday packages, right? Like, hey, I have a Friday special, right? We're doing 10 hours on Friday, same price. More value, same price. Cool. Second one is cash strapped. We've all been there, right? Behind on rent, you owe the man, talk to the lady, whatever the case may be. We're cash strapped, right? That's the only time, because it happens, it might happen, it maybe even will happen, whatever the case may be. If you're cash strapped, cool. That's when I'll go ahead and do a package. That's when I'll go ahead and do it. And also I want everybody to understand this. Every single one of these discounts is a package. Not a venue only, it's a package. I don't think, like, I want to be very, very specific about this. Every single one of these things is a package, right? Because here's the thing, right? I would rather get $2,500 than like $3,000. Like, I'm not doing that, right? It's more work, more headache, more fulfillment, okay? So cash strap, cool. I'm doing an insane package, right? I'm doing the grand opening package, right? Which is kind of goes into the third thing, right? So it's like, all right, cool, I'm cash strap, cool. I'm like, first 10 people who book get normally $3,000, you get it for $2,500, or normally $3,500, you get it for $3,000, whatever the case may be, right? Cool, right? So this kind of like can go into here with the grand opening, right? But me, like, I don't do grand openings, but y'all can do grand openings if y'all want to do grand openings, right? Cool. Number 4, new/pending inventory. Now this is a really key one. This is a really useful one, right? Say for example, you get new chairs, you want to go ahead and buy a new backdrop, right? Whatever the case may be. Here you go. Now we're gonna pre-sell. I'm gonna go ahead and post on Instagram, or I'm gonna go ahead and text my list, right? Hey guys, next 10 people who pay in full, get the grass backdrop, right? So now it's like, okay, cool, I'm getting all these paid in fulls, or I'm getting all these people, they're getting a discount because they didn't have to pay for the backdrop, right? So I like to use that for newer pending inventory, right? But for me, like, that's not really a flash sale. That's just, I didn't want to come out of pocket, like, frankly, you know what I'm saying? So, but those are really the only times, and I mean, like, frankly, this doesn't even really count because that's if you want to do a grand opening or whatever. But like, really, these are the only times that you would need to do a flash sale. Everything else is business as usual, all right? Does this kind of make sense?
Yes.
Perfect, cool, yeah.